Hey everybody, this is Ryan from the Ontario Guitar Studio. So today I'd like to talk to you about scales and practicing scales. That's something that has been requested in the community tab. They did a poll for it quite a while ago. A lot of people seem to want to know about how to practice scales. And so I thought I'd do a lesson on the best way I could recommend to practice scales and learning how to memorize scales. So why do people practice scales? So the most common reason people practice scales is for soloing. However, in my opinion, it's not just good for soloing, it's good for things like building hand strength. It's good for muscle memory in terms of position playing. So there's lots and lots of different reasons why you want to practice scales. However, a lot of people have trouble memorizing scales. And the big reason, in my opinion, is how people practice scales. So a lot of people will approach a scale, let's say if we look at a scale like this that we're going to look at today, which is our G major scale, second position. Very, very common in this area. So when a lot of people see a scale like this, they'll approach it like this. They'll play it up and down, right? Something like that, and they might play it a few times. However, after maybe the next day or in a few days after that, they'll realize they don't remember the scale. They're like, oh, I can't quite remember the scale. What's wrong? It must be something wrong with me. In my opinion, this is kind of the beginning of how to practice a scale. So how should you practice a scale? So once you have something like that, of course, this is kind of your base in terms of learning a scale, playing it up and down like I just did before. The next thing you're going to want to do is something that looks like this. What I have here is a nice little list in terms of what I would recommend in terms of how to practice a scale. So what I have here is 90 beats per minute. That's the metronome setting. So that 90 beats per minute sounds something like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So speed like that. So at that metronome speed, of course, playing it up and down once is fine. The next thing I would recommend is looking at the arpeggio of the pattern that you're looking at. The arpeggio is basically the chord tones of the scale you're looking at. So something that looks like this. Those are basically all the important notes within that scale pattern. So playing that up and down once too. After that, with the scale that you're looking at, doing some note skipping. So note skipping sounds like this. And then going back down. So that's skipping. All right, so we have those three different ways of playing a scale. Up and down, arpeggio, and then using a skipping pattern. So what I would recommend is playing those three patterns, but using different rhythms. So I would recommend next is doing quarter notes. So let me put on my metronome here so you can hear what I'm talking about. So these are quarter notes we're listening to right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. What I would recommend next is quarter note triplets. So what that would sound like with the scale is something like this. 3, 4. And then coming back down, of course, or up in terms of the guitar. Next, looking at eighth notes. So eighth notes is so. course, right? Next, eighth note triplets. So after that is 16th notes. So that sort of thing. So of course, going through those different rhythms, but then also going up and down arpeggio and the skipping pattern. And you're going to have a nice solid practice routine just by doing that. All right, so I'll give you a demonstration. So this is going through everything that we just talked about. So starting quarter notes, so this speed. So up and down, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do quarter note triplets. So dun 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 dun. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arpeggio 3, 4. Skipping. Next, let's do some eighth notes. So, dun 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 dun. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arpeggio. Note triplets. So da 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 16th notes. Da, 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 da. All right, and that covers a lot in terms of rhythmically and in terms of the pattern wise. Of course, there are other patterns you can do as well too, but I think in terms of just for the purpose of memorizing a scale, that will definitely be able to make you absorb any new scale you learn. So of course, I did the G major scale. You can go and look at all of your other different scales, going through those different patterns at 90 beats per minute. I think that's a really effective way of working on your scales and memorizing your scales. Just before you go, I do want to say thank you very much for watching all of my videos. A lot of my tabs now are available on PScore and mymusicsheet.com. I'm slowly working on getting as many as them up on those different sites, but I'll be giving any updates, of course, in the community tab, so you can check that out if you wish. But for today, until the next video, have a great one, and I'll see you again.